Okay. First things first, announcements. This Thursday is the Thursday that's been slated throughout the semester for you guys to work on your research paper presentation. Here in just a second, I'm going to give you a little tutorial on how to do that, help you with your PowerPoint presentation as well as your research paper. In the lessons folder, documents for the class, there's a research paper document. Read that to get, avail yourself to that on all the requirements for the paper. Just note on this one, I'm not an English teacher, so I'm going to look for content that there's a logic, an intro, your steps of research, and then a conclusion, and then finally your bibliography. And the bibliography is going to be everything from what you've researched, even though you didn't use it, or what you looked into, who you talked to, all at the end of your document. You can call it bibliography, you can call it works cited, whatever you want to call it. Just make sure it's 5 to 7 pages, double spaced, with a bibliography or works cited at the end, and no cover pages needed. And we're going to talk more about that in just a second, but this Thursday is your opportunity to get a good chunk of it done. Use this class period to start working on it. Hopefully you have down pat your topic and what you're going to research. And I'm going to help you tonight on the outline part of it to get started on how to research. Just where you're not blindly starting to go to the internet and try to find stuff. And then I did include in week 12 a PowerPoint template that you can download and use for your presentation. It already has a predefined background and template and fonts and bullets and everything on each slide. So if you're not a PowerPoint guru, you don't need to be. You can use that template and plug your information in. Also, some of you don't have PowerPoint at home and you might be using OpenOffice. That's fine. You can use OpenOffice to create your presentation. The presentation is to be 10 to 15 minutes in length, and it's to be a converted entity of your research paper. Not word for word, but just converted. Generally your outline converted to your presentation, which I'll give you a sneak peek and an example in just a second. And so it's a good idea to practice it before class. It will actually be starting in 2 weeks. 2 weeks from tonight, or actually 2 weeks from tonight, the presentations will begin on week 14. And so week 14 and 15 actually is the presentation weeks. And practice it, because a lot of students don't think they can really come up with 10 or 15 minutes of material. Really easy to do. I'm usually sitting in the back and I tell you when you have a 1 minute warning. And the 1 minute warning comes up to just about every student, especially those, it's usually those who think there's no way they're going to get 10 minutes of content in their PowerPoint. So it's easily done. You can also be a little creative if you want to. Some of you are going to be doing hands-on type of stuff during your presentation. That's fine. You can videotape at home. Like how to set up a Wi-Fi router, or how to do this with a Cat5 connection. Set up a peer-to-peer connection, whatever. You can actually videotape it, embed it in your PowerPoint. That's a thought for some of you. You can also videotape interviews. I've had students do this in the past. You could videotape interviews or questions you've had from people. That would be great. You can include YouTube videos in there as well. And I believe I have out there still in iTunes last semester's final that you can look at. And so avail yourself to that. Also this week, week 12, is due on review questions. We are going to go over about 12 slides on cryptography, but that's going to be it. So you've really just got your review questions this week. In fact, I put it as extra credit. That way you don't have to do that. It's not required to turn in your review questions, because I really want you to devote your time to research paper presentation. That way you can't say, I didn't have time to work on my research paper, didn't have time to work on my presentation. This entire week, you've got the entire week. You can knock it out if you want to. Just sit down, do it, get it done. I'm not any different than you. When I was in college, I waited till the last minute and didn't have many professors give me a night to do anything. And so I'm trying to give you that night, Thursday night, to really knock out as much as you can. I know a lot of you have things going on at home, noise, whatever. You can get some time by yourself in the library. It's really quiet. Nobody's allowed to talk in there. You can sit.
where New England's Patriot pride is about to get its southern groove on. Sun goes down as day turns to night. Eyes look to the skies to see this man, the undisputed King of Road, takes his country sound sailing above the crowd. Kenny Chesney urges us all, in the words of his, to live a little and have some fun. He invited me that day. I got an all-access pass to his behind-the-scenes magic. You want all access? You're going to get all access.